How does a 22-year-old save 95% of his income every single time he gets paid? And more importantly, what happens with that 5%? Now in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how I save 95% of my income. And guys, by the way, it's not real estate, it's not owning buildings, it's not like day trading with stocks. It's not any of that stuff, okay? I take 3 simple steps every time I get paid. Thus, I get to save 95% of my income, and you can do the exact same thing. No real estate, no stocks, no buildings. Very easy to do with your day job, minimum wage, whatever you have, you can do it also. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is TommyBryson. I'm an accountant. I post videos on YouTube every single day. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. And on top of that, do me a favor, hit the like button. I really appreciate it. Helps the channel grow a ton, so thank you so much. And on top of that, here's a question for you guys. What percentage of your income actually goes to you? Because usually every time someone gets paid, they pay bills, they pay taxes, they pay every single thing out there before they can actually save a dollar. And usually by the time they get paid 4 days later, they have to use a credit card because they already spent all the money. So comment down below and let me know how much of your income, what percentage goes to you directly, and you can actually save it. On top of that, if you're saving even a dollar every single time you get paid, well, you are ahead of the curve, because most people out there, they don't have a savings account and they usually are negative with credit card debt. So if you're saving a dollar, doesn't matter, you're good to go, okay? Now, before I continue to tell you guys the 3 steps I follow every time I get paid to save 95% of my income, I just want to clarify one thing here. Although I have more than one stream of income, in the past, I've had over 4 streams of income, and I still spent over 100% of my income because I had such high bills that I just had to use credit cards to actually cover all my bills. So again, just because you have more than one stream of income does not mean that's the only way to save this amount of money. So don't get discouraged if you only have one. It's not true. It's not true. You can do it with 1, with 2, with 3, with 4. Because a lot of people out there, especially me back in the days, I had 4. And I still spent more than I earned every time I got paid. Just to clarify that. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Tommy, but what are the 3 steps you have to follow to actually make sure you save so much money every time you get paid? And the overall key is this, guys. You have to build a second stream of income. But before I tell you how I built it and how you can build it also, I want to tell you guys step by step the 3 steps I follow to actually get to that point of being able to save 95% of my income when I was making $60 a week and also had $3,000 in credit card debt. And guess what? I was spending more than I was making. So here we go. Step number 1 is actually budget. You want to create a budget while you still can. Why? Because having a budget is very important to track where you currently are. Think about it like a GPS, right? If you have a GPS and you put in where you want to go, but you don't know where you are, it won't give you any directions, right? That's how it is. So you need a budget to actually show you exactly where to go and where you currently are, okay? So guys, you don't need to make money to have a budget. That's not true at all, because when I was making $60 a week, I made my budgets, and then that way I knew where I wanted to go and what I needed to do. So when you have a budget, you can track your expenses and everything that's going on. You're probably wondering, okay, Tommy, I know that, but every time I try a budget, it doesn't work out. And usually, that's because budgets that people make these days, they kind of suck. And that's why I created my own budget. It's like a sales pitch, right? I'm going to sell you something. No, it's free. I have a video on it. I do all my stuff for free. I don't have a course. I don't have like a, oh, call me, I'll charge you like $800 an hour. No, I don't do any of that stuff, okay? But I have a video that shows you exactly how to do this entire process. If you want to watch that video, check it out. But the main idea is this, okay? I have a link down below, by the way. But the main idea is this. Every time I would get paid, I would put my money in 6 different accounts, okay? In envelopes, by the way. So every time I would get paid, I would put my money in 6 different envelopes. One was for emergencies, investment, debt, expenses, fun, and also charity. 6 accounts. By the way, I did have fun when I was making $60 a week. Why? Because guess what? It might not be on the same level now, but I still managed to take out like $1 or so to still have some fun by buying me something that I wanted. By the way, I'm serious. I had $1 every single week to have fun. So think about that for a second, okay? If you think you're having a rough time here, I was spending $1 a week, maybe less, I'm not sure, to actually have fun. But I still felt like, okay, I have control over everything because I know exactly where my money is going. But you probably don't have to worry about that because you're not making $6 a week, you're probably making more. So don't really worry about that. But again, guys, I have down below the link to the budget video, and I also have down below a link to SoFi, because again, you can use envelopes or you can use SoFi Money, an online bank account that gives you interest also, to actually create 6 different accounts in one bank account. That way you don't have to open like, oh, one here, one here, one here. No, you can create it in one account, and then that way you can track everything from one bank account. Link down below. When you deposit $100, you actually get $50 also. And no, you don't have to pay me any money. It's all free. Now, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, just DM me on Instagram. I'll tell you all the information, okay? At TommyBryson. Now, step number 2 is actually lowering your expense. Now, you might be saying, Tommy, well, a budget, isn't that the same thing? The answer is no. A budget tracks your expenses, but you yourself have to lower your expenses. Now, here's why, guys. Here's a story. When I was in college, I actually had 4 income streams. This is why it's so important to actually track your entire expenses, okay? Because I had 4 income streams, and you might think, Tommy, that's a lot of money. You're in college. Well, I'll tell you the details right now, okay? Well, when I was in college, I had a job at the college, and that was paying me around like $1,200 every single month. I had a job at Gap, paying me around $800 every single month. I had my own business, paying me around like $120 every single week. And then I also had like a flip phone, like reselling phones and sneakers business, and that paid me around like $100 to $400 every single week. It sounds like a lot of money, I know, and it was. And you might think, well, Tommy, you're making so much money, so you're probably saving a lot of money back then too. Well, the answer is no. The more money I made back then, the more money I actually spent. And that's the same thing, the same theory with a lot of people out there. You don't believe me? Ask yourself this question, right? You probably had a job in the past making like minimum wage. Now you probably have another job not making minimum wage anymore, right? Maybe you went from $8 to $15, but guess what? You're still broke because the more money you made, the more money you actually spend. And that was my problem back then. And now I fixed that by tracking my expenses and having a budget. But here's what ended up happening, okay, guys? When things got hard and the ish hit the fan, I maxed out my job at work study, so I didn't have that income anymore. I stopped working at Gap because it was seasonal, and on top of that, my business, well, it lost some revenue, so I was only making like $60 a week. That's where that mystical $60 actually comes from. And then from reselling, I had no capital to actually start flipping phones again. So I couldn't do anything. I was just making $60 every single week, and I felt stuck. Okay, now, what happened, Tommy? What happened after this, okay? Because it sounds like you were down in the mud. Oh, and I also had $3,000 in credit card debt that was required minimum payment every single month. And guess what? It was because I bought a laptop that I couldn't afford back then. And I also had around $13,000 in student loan debt. It sounds insane, but I went from $60 a week, right, to now making a little bit over $10,000 every single month, which is great. But here's how I actually got out of that, okay? Now, eventually, here's how I got out of that predicament, okay? I ended up creating my budget, tracking my expenses, and here's what I did. Anything that wasn't a need, I removed it. So all I needed was shelter, and I didn't pay rent, food. I spent like $5 a day to actually buy food back then, and also like water, like $1 a day, and I just refill at the entire like school. And I spent, that was it. Honestly, that was it. I didn't spend any money on anything else that didn't involve a need. I took off Spotify. I took off music. I took off everything, okay? I took off buying clothes. I took off, spending money on Ubers. I took everything off my list that I didn't need anymore. And every time I had $1, I'd be like, hey, this dollar is not to be spent. It is to be saved and invested. Here's how I got out of it, though, because it just wasn't by saving, okay? I ended up getting a second job, right? Another job, because I lost all my jobs, basically. I just had a business income of $60. I lost my job, but I got another job, and I saved up $10,000 from that job. And then I also, here's the thing, guys, I also took out $7,000 from a student loan, and I used that to kickstart my business, and that made me a lot of money. And then I just started all over again from step one, from ground zero, and I went from $60 4 years later now to making a little bit over $10,000. So again, it's not easy, it's not fast, but it is progressive and it's consistent, okay? So if you're willing to cut every single thing out your life that doesn't really require you to live, well, take it off and you will be successful. And again, I was spending $1 back then to have fun, and now I spent around $60 every week to have fun, okay? That's my budget. I don't spend $1 more for fun, and I only spend a little bit on my expenses. I'll tell you more about that later on in the video. Now, the how. Well, Tommy, you did that, but how do I do it, okay? How do I do it? The answer is this. Once you have your budget and you have your expenses, list out your needs and your wants. Cut out every single want, only keep the needs, your rent, your food, your bill of transportation, all that stuff. Take off everything else, okay? Once you do that, use all that extra income to remove all your debt. If you don't have any debt, well, if you watch my video on the budget, you know exactly what to invest it into. So invest all that money and save up all that money, extra money, and put it on the side to actually start building passive income. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Tommy, so far, we've got create a budget and expenses, but what is step number 3? Now, number 3 is increasing your income. And the problem with this is that most people think, okay, I have to quit my job, become Gary Vee, and have over $1 billion like Grant Cardone in real estate. Well, the answer is no. Slow down. Here's the why. You want to have a second stream of income because it gives you more freedom, more cash, and this money is for investing and saving, not for spending. People all the time do this. They have extra money not coming in. Now they spend more money on dumb stuff. And that's exactly what I was doing when I first started. But I no longer do that. Any money that I make extra, I just save it and invest it and make more money and invest it, save it. It's a cycle, okay? You do the same exact thing. It's not complicated at all. Now, here's how you actually do this, okay? You don't need to become Gary Vee or Grant Cardone like I said in the past, but what you need to do is start a side hustle. Tell me, why a side hustle? Why not a business on the side? Usually business require a lot of time, believe it or not, okay? But a side hustle is something that requires less than 8 hours or 10 hours a week of your time to actually become successful. So here's the thing. I'm not telling you to do Shopify, like do online ads, become like a wholesale realtor. Like I'm not telling you to do that stuff, okay? What I'm telling you to do is this, right? There's a book out there that gives you like literally 100 different side hustles, and one of them, I'll give you 3 now, okay? One of them is literally this. One guy was selling candles on Amazon, and he was making around $1,000 every single month, which is a lot of money if you ask me. One other person was selling crickets on Amazon, live crickets, and he bought it from a farm and sold it to people. And guess what? He never touched them or anything like that. He was just like selling it. He was like dropshipping basically from a farm to the customer, and he made an extra $3,000 every single month. Another person was doing this. You can go to a flea market, buy a whole bunch of items, go on eBay, list them, and sell it through there, and you can make a ton of money every single month from that also. So I'm not telling you to learn anything brand new. It's all very simple. It's all about starting something that doesn't require a lot of time from you, so in that way you can still keep your day job while having extra money coming in every single month. Now, I also have a playlist on the channel on how to start businesses and business plans. So if you want to check it out, link down below also. It's called the Business Plan Playlist. You can check that out also. And on top of that, guys, you're probably wondering, okay, Tommy, I get it. You know, I budget, lower my expenses, and I also increase my income. It sounds great, but what do you personally do? Well, now, here's what I do. I told you about my past 4 years ago when I had the Gap job, my college job, and all that fancy stuff. And now I have 5 streams of income, and I have my business that makes around $5,000 every single month. I have YouTube that makes around $6,000 to $10,000 every single month. I also have investments in Acorn that make me some money, but long term, that money will be worth around $1 million, which is great. On top of that, I have savings for real estate, which earn me interest, but I don't really use it whatsoever because, again, all that money is just put like left there to actually start investing into real estate in the future. And I also have investments outside of America that make me around $400 every single month, which is great money if you ask me. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Tommy, so how do you actually manage to save the 95% of your income thing, okay? Well, the answer is this, okay? Because you might say, Tommy, don't you eat, bro? Don't you eat? Don't you go out? Well, the answer is yes to the first one, but no to the last one. I don't really go out. I just spend $60, like, and I usually spend it on Amazon to buy, like, dumb stuff, like, you know, like silly stuff, like, you know, Fire sticks to resell. I buy like headphones and like, you know, chargers. Like I don't really buy a lot of things, to be honest with you, okay? But here are the details, guys. For my business, I only spend around 17% on expenses. So again, my expenses for food, I think that's about it. Like food and what is it? Like I don't spend money on anything else. Like food and like I think food, internet, and a whole bunch of other things. But really, I only spend around 17% every time I get paid, which is like weekly, on expenses. I spend 5% of my business money also on having fun. Again, 5%. So in total, for my first income stream, I spend around 22%. My YouTube money, I only spend around I save for investments 95%, and I spend 5% for having fun, okay? That's kind of like my salary in a sense, 5%, and because I want to make sure that every time I get paid, I have that money, like at least 5% to actually know that, hey, it feels great to buy some new tech on Amazon, okay? That's what I do with my money, honestly. Now, I also have my investments. I spend 0% of that money because I just have it reinvest for the future. My savings, 0%, I just keep it there. And also my investments outside of America, well, all that money is reinvested, so again, 0%. So in reality, I'm only spending money for my first income stream, and for my YouTube income, I only spend around 5%. So then that's how I actually spend only 5% of my income, usually from my second stream of income, and I save everything else for investing, okay? Now, here's why. Because everything is not saving. By the way, guys, usually I'm broke every single day, okay? I'm broke every single day. I don't have any money. If you ask me for money, I don't have any money. Why? Because all my money goes into investments or saving for long term. That's all I do. I save and I invest for long term. I usually don't have any cash on hand. If you check my wallet, if you try to steal from me, I have like $0 in my wallet. I wish I could show you guys, but I have $0 in my wallet right now. And it's because I don't keep any money on hand. I don't like having cash on hand. I save everything and I invest everything to make me more income. That's the key. That's how I do it. You can do the exact same thing by starting a side hustle and just saving all your money and investing it, okay? That's what I do. No real estate, no trading, none of that stuff, okay? Very, very simple. So before you leave this video, I want you guys to comment down below and tell me one thing, okay? What type of side hustle are you interested in starting? Comment down below, let me know. And how much money do you actually want to save? What percentage do you want to save every time you get paid, okay? Because if you're negative, not good. And also, guys, as always, remember this, right? It's not about how much money you make, it's all about how much money you keep, okay? So you might make $15,000 a month, but you might only keep $0. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's all about how much money you actually keep. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow a ton, so thank you so much. On top of that, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. And if you want to do one-on-one, uno, just DM me on Instagram at TommyBryson. By the way, if you have any questions about this video, DM me on TommyBryson. I answer all my DMs like always. And before you go, if you want to watch my budget video, here it is. Here's the secrets, how I got the secret sauce, how I did everything. And here's my face. Subscribe to the channel by clicking this face right now. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Thanks for watching, and peace.